Alright, this is game 2. Playing on the right side of the screen is NBN, and we have Peter as the runner on the left side playing Gabe. So we're getting right into it. This NBN deck is a little bit different from the traditional Fast Advanced. It doesn't have any sands in there, and it doesn't really care too much about Astro scripts. I mean, they're nice to score, but they're definitely not the priority. So it focuses more on Beals, on market research, on mid-season, and on psychographics. And the ice are designed to tax the runner so that by the time they steal an agenda, you hit them with mid-seasons and get a lot of tags going. So I've been playing a lot of NBN Fast Advanced recently with The World Is Yours. Super Fast Advanced deck, a lot of sands, shipment from sand, things like that. And so this is quite a different build, and it's really fun to play, really different. And I think I was able to catch a lot of people off guard as they were all expecting something different. So first click I played a hedge fund there, get some money. It's a lot of event economy in this. And so I had a little take back there. I wanted to draw a card before I played down, which is the smart thing to do because you might get a better ice or just get better options. So I am leaving R&D exposed right there. It's because I don't have a good ice to protect it with. Might have a Grim there in hand, but that's not really what you want to see. So that's a Desperado he installed first, and he's getting that out there first so he could get money off these runs that he's going to start doing. It's the right order to do it in. Just using the tags there as his click trackers. Alright, so I've got a Data Raven on HQ. That's not really what you want to see against Gabe, because it doesn't block the counter siphon. If they really want to get in, they're going to keep in the tags anyway, but I kind of needed to play it, and I was just hoping that he would respect the tags. Finally, so this looks like a pretty standard Gabe deck so far, I'm thinking. Got some code besting going on. Desperado. A little scouting on HQ, so nothing out of the ordinary yet, but I'm definitely going to want to reinforce that Data Raven pretty soon. Which is, you want them to start going through Data Raven, but you'd rather have that be on R&D or archives with Data Sucker token, something like that. But you do want that to build up tags. It's a great thing to get going. Yeah, so prioritizing HQ against Gabe. I'm also going to have to defend archives pretty soon against the sneak door, and at the same time I got to defend R&D soon. So I just need my ice. So there's not a lot of ice in the deck. There's something like 16, I think. So not a huge amount of ice, but I try and draw into it quickly, and you got to be smart about the mulligan with a deck like this. Like doing a lot of takebacks. I was getting over being sick. So yeah, that's a better way to do that, is get him money so you could hedge fund. Yeah. So yeah, I was a little bit foggy this day. It wasn't all coming out as smoothly as usual, but play with a lot of friendly players, and this isn't a super serious tournament, so people are usually cool about this kind of stuff. As long as it doesn't really change the state of the game too much. I was trying to reveal the R&D access to the camera, but I didn't realize the camera was not tilted the right direction, so I'll have that fixed next time. Got a Corroder in hand, so that's definitely something Criminal wants to be seeing now against NBN because of those wraparounds. And he's got a special order, so he's got a lot of breakers kind of going in. He has 2 special orders in a Corroder, so a lot of good ability to go fetch the breakers he needs, so he's in a good position here. At least that's the type of position I like to see myself in. Took the mandatory draw. You'll see Power Shutdown in my hand. This is this deck is kind of designed to tax, so I want to kill their breakers. I want them to have to use expensive cards to get the breakers back or play new breakers, and it's all about draining their econ. I can't quite see what that second card was. Oh, I know what's going on. So that's an agenda. I'm trying to remember which one that is. That might be. I feel like that's a market research. But yeah, I think I put an agenda down here because I was kind of thinking I would be able to mid-season him if he took it. Okay, so there's a marked account. So yeah, there's a couple marked accounts in the deck. It's good drip econ. It's basically a way to get 3 money for a click over time, which is really good. That's a pretty good exchange rate. And if the runner trashes it, that's also very good. So that's kind of the idea with that one. It's really built in there to try and drain their econ. All right, so he doesn't want this tells me a lot right here. He put a parasite on the Data Raven. So he really doesn't want tags, which is very interesting to know against Gabe. It's usually not the case. So that's a lot of information right there. And also, I know my HQ is protected for a while because he put a parasite down on the Data Raven. He's not going to be planning to get in there until that data sucker builds up tokens. Okay, so that was the marked accounts. And remember, that's still an agenda town next to the marked accounts. So I'm just kind of ignoring it. And I think it's market research, so there might be a Beale. But I didn't feel that the time was right to score it. Alright, so I still got 3 turns until that Data Raven's gone. I still got an ice on. That's a restructure. So yeah, there's 3 restructures, 3 hedge funds, and 3 sweep sweeps. So a lot of operation economy. Just a way to burst up the econ and let the marked account slowly give you the drip. It seemed pretty successful throughout the day. My problems were... So that's a ferry he just put down, a sentry breaker. I've been told that I should try and explain the cards a little bit better for players who don't know, every card in the game. So I'm trying to make a better effort of doing that. So ferry's a good sentry breaker, but it's only used once and then it's trashed. So it removes a lot of fear from running. You're not worried about running into something that's going to trash programs because it's going to trash itself anyway. So I think my plan at this point is still to just try and build up money. I must have a mid-season in hand. And so that's another agenda. I'm really trying to bait him into taking an agenda while he doesn't have a lot of money. I'm not trying to really mid-season people for 20 tags. I really only need 5's a pretty good number, even 4, because I could score a market research out of hand with psychographics at 3 points, and you could get a Beale with 4 tokens. You could install psychographics in advance, and you have a 3-point Beale. So you're really trying to score all your agendas out of hand at 3 points. This is not really supposed to be a bluffing deck in the sort of shell game way I'm doing it, but. This game, I just kind of noticed that he wasn't running the remotes. He was, I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he was thinking they're sands, or he was just occupied with his own board state. He's really, you can see hostages in his hand. So yeah, I remember him using hostages a couple times, I think, and so he seemed to be more preoccupied on his side of the table. So I wasn't too worried about him. It would have been bad at this turn if he went and ran on both of those servers because they're both agendas, but I just kind of I judged it and kind of thought he wouldn't do that, and even if he did, I would be able to mid-season him. So I still would like to defend R&D, but getting a free Astro script is hard to pass up. I always put the token there over the moon. I think that's kind of what you're supposed to do. So that's good. I just scored 2 points in an Astro, which is right where you want to be. I dropped to closed accounts. Just saw with all these resources he has, he's really going to be avoiding tags, and so now that I got the Astro strips going, I might not need to psycho him. Couldn't quite see that one. So that Data Raven's almost done. He's basically. I'm getting lucky in R&D. He should be pulling agendas. He's had something like 3 or 4 accesses, 4 I think, on R&D. At the same time, I'm okay if he takes it. Also, there's an NAPD contracts in there, so if he steals that, that's perfect. He pays 4 to steal that agenda, and then I mid-season him, and he has 4 more tags than he would have had before. So I'm actually considering dropping one of the 3 Astro scripts for another NAPD, because I just have 1 NAPD in there now. So that's just crazy to me. I wouldn't think that I'd ever consider that as NBN, but that's kind of where this deck is going. This is a deck concept I got from a friend Daniel who plays in the area, so I tweaked it up a little bit, but it's basically his idea. Okay, getting rid of the Data Ravens, drop it anyway, so There, this was the ice turn. So I slowly was getting ice over time, and after getting Astro Script, it was time to defend. So I really should be defending up Archives soon, because you gotta assume Gabe has the sneak door. Someone's asking me now about those tokens. They're from a website called miniongames.com. I really recommend them. They're really nice tokens. I just use them for money. I think Peter's just deciding what to do. He looks like he still has a couple special orders, and he has a lot of breakers, special orders. I think it was a corroder he had in hand. Maybe I see a knight. Maybe I was misreading that as knight or as corroder.
Actually, I'm gonna run on HQ.
All right, let's go on an HQ run. First click of the turn. I'm trying to remember what that first ice is. I can't quite remember. But based on how long I'm looking at this, I feel like it might be a Grim, which I don't want to res in this case. I'd rather res something like a Caduceus. So he's going to use that fairy to get through whatever it is. And that's just where I'm a little bit foggy. Yeah, I don't think I want to res that Grim. So I'm letting him in. I can't remember why I let him in. That's usually, that's 3 free credits for him. And he's going to look at some of my cards and... Okay. So he's predicting correctly that he's about to get mid-seasoned hard. So he's pulling a bunch of money off to try and prevent that. Because I'm out econing him, but not by much. So he's... Yeah, so I'm at 14, and he's at 12, 13 right now. And I'm going to be up to 15 on my turn. So that's not a really good mid-season. I could get like 4 tags on him, but he has a lot of resources, including Fall Guy now is installed. So he's clearly resource-focused. He might just spend his turn clearing tags, which, is good for me still, but it's not. I don't really want him to clear those tags. I want the tags to stick. So that's where I'm getting the Beale. That was just such a silly bluff. I don't know why. It was accidental, basically. And that's the thing as a runner. Like, you see those cards and you're just like, I don't want to waste my time running on what's going to be, I don't know, like a pad campaign, or you're just trying to figure out what it is. Some kind of snare thing going on. But as Gabe, especially when you have Desperado out, it's kind of worth it to run on those, especially if you're kind of in that position where you have a click left and you're trying to decide what to do. So he's running HQ, but for some reason pretend like he meant R&D. Oh, okay, that was an Ouroboros. Yeah, so I think I was trying to save up all my money for the mid-season, and now that when that was off the table, now I'm actually defending, trying to prevent him from getting into my stuff. And so I think the first trace just hit, so he's not going to run again this turn. And then the second one, I bring it up to 6. And he decided not to use the fairy on that, which is probably fine. He doesn't lose a lot by doing that, especially when he has other things he wants to be doing in his turn, like putting money on Katie Jones and hostaging for stuff. So that was probably the right decision on his part. Save the fairy for when you have a good play set up. Okay, so he's got a pro-con. So this is a big connection deck. This is the type of deck that I think they expect us to be seeing a lot more when Honor and Profit comes out. There's a lot of connections in that. A lot of the cards interact with connections. So they seem to be pushing more of a resource criminal, which is hard to imagine right now, but I'm looking forward to some new criminal builds. So it's hard right now to make a competitive criminal build that doesn't include all the usual suspect cards. Okay, sweeping, getting some money. Sweeps Week is a somewhat new card for people who don't know. It's you pay 1, you get 1 credit for every card in the runner's grip. And so at best, it works out kind of like a hedge fund that you play for 1 money if they have 5 cards. And it's pretty great. All right, so there's where I'm icing up to prevent Sneak Door. Okay, Caduceus Res. Caduceus, one of the best ice for NBN making news. So he's probably looks like he's ferrying through this. Yeah, the sort of problem with this deck compared to normal fast advances is the agendas do tend to build up in your HQ as you're waiting for combo pieces to come into place and waiting for your econ to build. Alright, so I put all my money into put the temporary credits on Caduceus to get the money, because I am building economy. I'm okay with letting him access a card if he pays some money. So that looks like a hedge fund. That's great. I'm going to love that pretty soon. And he's spending money looking to try and maybe get his Sentry Breaker out. Let's see what he has. So he's a Mimic, yeah. So Mimic's exactly what he wants. I think he was supposed to show me that, and I don't know if I saw that, but that's okay. I might just be installing it right away. Yeah, Mimic is a really great breaker in this circumstance against Caduceus. He'll be able to get through Caduceus for 2 money, which is really cheap. And he'll get 1 money back from Desperado, so he's really getting R&D access for 1 money, which is fantastic. But I do have Grims in the deck, so if I could get a Grim over that, then that server's back online. So I'm looking for stuff now and getting some money. He's got a lot of money now. The problem is, while I do have a lot of money, he doesn't have a lot of money right now, but he is able to build up money with Katie Jones.
I'm gonna run on R&D. So I pay 2, I get 1 back.
So he's seen R&D for 1 credit. Okay, so that was at Jackson Howard. Cost 3 to trash. He only has 2 money, so that worked out. Although this deck doesn't totally depend on Jackson Howard. There's 2 of them in there, and it's just because Jackson Howard is such a great utility card. But it doesn't totally depend on it for any specific reason. It is nice to draw in the econ cards sometimes and help with agenda flooding. But I didn't have that problem too much at this tournament. Or when I did, I was able to work with it. So you love this situation when they're drawing up a lot of cards as NBN now because of Sweeps Week. And I don't know if I have agendas in him, but it's possible I forgot about the Sweeps Week or about the Astro scripts. Now that I'm just kind of looking to make this combo go off, I was really excited to play this deck and try out this new build, and so I might not totally be paying attention to just that I could kind of just win the game with Astro scripts like usual. Alright, so I drew a card, installed something, and so now he really needs to run on that remote. Okay, that looked like maybe another restructure or some kind of operation. So he's got some siphons, but he can't quite get in yet. And it's possible he could get in. It depends what that other ice is. And also with... Alright, so he's signaling. He's setting up for the siphon. I don't know if I quite caught on to this. But he's, the knight would move onto that first piece of ice behind HQ, and then he runs in, breaks the Ouroboros with the fairy, and is able to siphon me. But I don't know that he wants to siphon though. I have so much money. If he siphons, he will blow a bunch of resources and get some money, but he's probably gonna want to clear the tags. He's just getting more money. He's not really pressuring my servers too much, so I'm not having to ice up, which lets me just build econ. So there's some more money. This was pretty common for the day, just building up huge sums of money, and it stresses the runner out so much. They're just trying to figure out what's going on. And even if they know that you're doing mid-season play, it's just hard to play around. You know, they're trying to get into your servers and. All right, so I can see the cards. I was trying to show the camera. So there's a mid-season. Looks like there's an agenda. I'm sure there's a psychographics at this point. There's 3 psychographics, 3 mid-season. Doing some code busting, some more code busting, so he could sure gamble. Now he's got some money, but again, I'm fine with mid-seasoning as long as I could land. You know, at this point, with him having so many resources, it'd be nice to get like 8 tags on him. At that point, he's probably not going to clear them. I could kill a couple of his good resources. I haven't really been noticing if he's been using that Procon too much, but it hasn't seemed to come into play a whole lot. Okay, so here's where I'm trying to prevent the siphon. That sort of money swing is really what this deck is trying to avoid. You don't want to lose money and have them gain money. That's okay. So this was a misplay because he didn't run the turn before, and I keep making this mistake. But power shutdown, the runner needs to run the turn before, which for some reason I find hard to track. But luckily he let me take that back. Now I'm probably looking for some more econ, looking for more ice. Just kind of waiting for him to make a mistake, which I was feeling a little bit nervous. I mean, even though I have 4 points and an Astroscript, I think I was kind of looking for more Astroscripts. If I could get another Astroscript, I could probably guarantee the win. But I just wasn't drawn into him.
People are afraid of RD because what else? 2 snares. No, you don't have to get 2 snares. You RD take them like 2 or 3 cards. And you have
Did he draw a card without using Procon? Oh no, okay, he's doing it. I'm just missing it.
No, do you want to trash them?
Beetle and your agendas are good enough to not include Beetle. Yeah. You actually like are.
Okay, so yeah, letting him trash Jackson Howard. That's my favorite usage of Jackson Howard. Actually, I don't often put cards back into my deck unless I have something specific I have in mind. Because you know, a run in 3 credits is pretty. And now he's I don't know. I guess he's thinking that I'm bluffing that I have agendas in there, or. He sees so many face down cards and he's thinking, oh, I'm hiding the agendas. But he's really not seeing that many accesses. So, you know, if you're not pressuring my HQ and my R&D, probably don't have agendas in, especially HQ. I probably don't have agendas in archives. All right, so trying to reveal some more of this ice. Okay, yes, got another Data Raven. That's great because again, he really doesn't seem to be interested in getting tags. So. And his sentry breaking abilities are not too great against 4 strength. So he's got another Parasite on there. Getting some more ice. So yeah, it would be nice to still have the Jackson Howard here. I could just use it to draw cards.
I decided not to.
Yeah, another player's asking why I didn't keep the power shutdown in my hand. I think I had other plans at that point. The power shutdown's not a pivotal thing. It's just, you know, I'd probably shut down for 2 and try and kill the knight, I guess. But then he could just use the fairy. And okay, so now I'm actually, I don't know. I think I maybe have like market research in hand. I might just be trying to figure out, you know, building up a remote so I could actually score something out. I was still trying to figure out how to use this deck. This was the first game I played with the deck, so still kind of feeling it out. And this first game went a little bit long as a result, so I'm feeling it out. And you know, this is an unusual criminal build, and it's a slower criminal build than usual. Alright, so I took some Katie money. Oh, so he's letting Data Raven hit.
Okay, more Boris.
Yeah, so that's actually really good. The Parasite brings the Data Raven down to 3 strings, so the Mimic can break the subroutine for 1. That's still a good trade. He'll have to pay 2 money to clear that tag. So he's using... Yeah, this is a weird play. You'd think you'd want to go in with an account siphon or something like this. He's really blown a lot of his resources to get in here. Not a lot of credits, but just, using the ferry, and you kind of want to save that stuff until you got a siphon play. So I think I don't know what ice that is exactly. It might be a high-cost ice. So, yeah, I was able to snipe one of his breakers. Not really sure why I chose the Mimic. I guess because... Yeah, that protects R&D. He can't get through as easily through that Caduceus. Even if he puts Night on it, that's 4 to get through. Alright, so he saw the psychographics. Not a surprise at this point, though. You kind of get a feel for the deck and see that you're not playing against a fast advanced deck. Oh, just got another ferry. So that puts me at 21, and he's at 8. So I still have a big lead on him, but he could pop that Kitty Jones at any point and sort of even things up.
Are those actually tags, or are you using them to track?
Those are just...
So I'm got a bad pub for that Grim, and that's tracked over on my side of the table. I hope that he remembers to use that.
Let's do install.
I don't remember if that comes into play. I think it was first click install.
And let's load up Mark's accounts.
So I'm really signaling here that this is an agenda.
Another virus.
I don't actually remember what's going on here. But yeah, just the way that played out, if I'm Peter on the left, I'm thinking that is definitely an agenda and I need to get it. Oh. So Resin, a toll booth. Yeah, he didn't have any code gate breaker. This is click 3, so it seems unlikely he'd be able to get in. So he's just basically moving the knight to ensure its safety, that I won't overwrite it. Although I don't think he needed to do it that turn, just because this turn I'm likely to be advancing that agenda. Oh, you can see the NAPD contracts in my hand. Such a good agenda. Alright, so another Beale. I could have used the AstroScript token on it, but with the toll booth, I didn't see him being able to get through that turn. He could have inside jobbed it. That might have, if he had an inside job and he inside jobbed and then he had the knight, he might have been able to get to it. Oh, and he just drew an inside job too. That sucks so much. Yeah, that's exactly what he needed. Yeah, then he would have almost certainly been able to get in. I don't think I have any ice with a huge amount of subroutines. But that might have still screwed him over. Well, he would have, I guess, had a click left to take money off Katie Jones. Yeah, but he didn't, he needed the inside job. This game is so good. Oh, now he's starting to get a lot of his event economy going here. I guess he's played a few sure gambles. He's just looking for an answer now. He really needs Sneak Door. Maybe he doesn't have it in the deck.
I'll take the marked account, so I'll take the mandatory.
I think they should have made mana 5/1
Yeah.
instead of 6.
Picked up a Data Sucker too. You really want to see your Data Suckers a lot earlier as Gabe. So you really start slowing down towards once this kind of ice builds up. So it's signaling another agenda. At this point, I'm trying to judge if I think he could get into that server, which was a good bet. He's been doing a lot of drawing. He still has the knight, so he can knight over and then he can inside job. I don't know if I was really thinking about that, but
I'm going to inside job from my heat.
Admittedly, Astra should have been at 3-1.
So I'm over the 12.
oh, interesting. I wonder why he did it that way. He had the inside job in hand, but I guess, yeah. So what's important about this, what I'm loving about this right now, is that he can't take that money off Katie Jones, and he doesn't have a ton of money. Let's see if I was smart enough about this. I really want that to be NAPD contracts underneath that. See, I'm checking if it's the last click. And then it's just a matter of if I think the trade is worthwhile. If I need to res this, and he needs to have to pay more than what I'm resing it for. And I think that's not the case. So I think I just let him in here, probably. I think this is like a 3 res cost, and he's going to pay 2 to get through. It's something like that. So he gets the money, and then it is NAPD. He takes it. See, yeah, I could have scored it next turn too, so he had to take it, because I could have advanced it 3 times and then Astra tokened it. So he had to take it, but that only leaves him with 4 money. And now he knows what's happening. And I guess at this point I don't have another Beale or Astra on hand. And there's no 1-point agendas in the deck. I don't have any breaking news. It'd be nice to fit it in there, but it just doesn't fit. So there's the mid-season for the first click. So it's now up to 8. So I have the win in hand, basically. So it's going up 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 tags, unless if he... So I think he's taking all 11. So I was a little slow on this, but advanced it 4 times. And that's another 3 points, and that's the game. I only needed to advance it 3 times as well, so I could have done it for even cheaper with the AstroScript token, but this is the type of thing I wanted to ensure the victory. So that's how the deck works. It didn't quite work the way I'd want to score those Beals with a token on them. I'd want to advance him 5 times, but ultimately it came together, and it was sort of a cool ploy there, getting him to inside job, spend resources to get into that server, spend money to steal the NAPD, drain his accounts so that I could land a bunch of tags. So this wouldn't work too well in elimination rounds where you want to get more agenda points, but that's the deck, and it works pretty well.